Welcome back to the Coaching Life podcast. We are getting a monsoon while we record here.
Normally we talk about how nice the weather is outside.
We can't it looks like we're recording at night now. Yeah. So, but hey, let's introduce our guest. We got a third person here. That's Chaz Mohler, and Chaz is we got some rivalry going on.
I should probably sit between you two.
Yeah. We got Chaz, the head baseball coach at Trimble High School, and Trimble's in the same conference that my Eastern Eagles are in. So, but yeah, we're really excited to have Chaz with us today. He's spent his whole life on the baseball field or on a court, and now he's on the other side of the lines as a coach. But just tell you a little bit about who Chaz is. Three-sport athlete in high school, played football, basketball, baseball, was a 4-year baseball letterman and a shortstop. Went on to play baseball at Shawnee State University before transferring to Ohio Valley University, where you started at second base for all three seasons
3 years,
there. 3 years there, yeah. But what makes Chaz, I think, really interesting for this conversation, the conversation that you and I, Pat, have been having the last couple of weeks, is what he has done since his playing days, now in his coaching days, because he not only has coached baseball, but Chaz, you've coached basketball for 3 years, spent 5 years coaching varsity football as well. And then now you're about to enter your sixth season.
Yep.
So that's wild. So I thought I had more years again. I just finished my 6th year at Eastern.
Okay.
So I must have only had 1 year against Phil.
Yeah.
And it felt like more because we always scrimmaged them when I was at Athens.
Oh, okay.
As well.
Right.
So I had several more years there too.
Right.
But yeah, and Phil, I mean, how many years? 30.
30.
I was gonna say
he was the head baseball
he coached
coach,
baseball
for
for 65 years at Trimble. I think
33 years and football for 30-some years, so 60-some years of coaching.
Right.
Yeah.
But speaking of Trimble, you and I know, and now Coach Martin as well, have a very special common friend, someone that we would admire a lot, and he listens to our podcast regularly. I did not tell him you were going to be on today. I figured we'd surprise him, but Steve Miller, Coach Miller, yeah,
I love Coach.
Yeah, I know he loves you. He loves the fact that you're leading the Trimble program, because he gave a lot of sweat, volunteer hours to that program.
Yes, he did.
But yeah, I'm looking forward to the perspective that you're going to bring to our podcast today. You've been a player, a teammate, an assistant coach, now moving into a veteran high school coach, and so we're excited to talk about the coaching life with you here in just a minute. But
yeah,
welcome,
I appreciate you guys having me on. Like I said, I text you. I love what you guys do here, and I think you guys have even brought it up. Like it's a special fraternity. Because you get talking to your buddies and whatever, you're good friends, but this is you guys understand what goes into what we do.
Yeah.
And so it's always nice, like at the coaches clinics, to get with people and build relationships with them, and and just see all the different ins and outs and their perspective on it, because you guys have some common ground, I guess you should say. We're all in the same business, so to speak, and so I love what you guys do here, and you guys bring up a lot of cool topics, and we could sit here and talk for all week, honestly, about all the different challenges and expectations and goals and ups and downs and everything else, which is what makes it so great, and it's why we love doing it. It's what we're here to do. So I appreciate you guys having me on.
Yeah, absolutely. Glad to have you.
I know one of the things we were talking about last week, I think we mentioned on last week's show, was how the baseball coaches fraternity is really close. You're like fierce competitors on the field,
right?
When that game starts, and then when it's over, but even before and after, when it's over, but in moments like this, we're going to share things that we do with our programs that make us better as a program. We're going to share it with a rival, That's what baseball that's what baseball coaches do. Like,
I'm not
Give
sure.
us our signs if you want.
yeah, that's right.
See how in depth
By the way,
we
this
get
is what we
here.
use. Yeah,
See how
not those
honest
kind
you
of strategies, but that's one of the things that
No, I agree.
makes the baseball. Like you talk about the clinic. Did you ever go to the football clinic?
Yes, I went with Phil. Yeah.
I've heard people say that it feels different there,
Yeah.
because football coaches tend to be a little more close. They hold things a
To
little
the
closer
vest,
to the
yeah,
vest,
they
you
do.
know.
You're right.
And baseball coaches will tell you anything you want to know. I mean,
Right.
aside from your signs and
Right,
things like that, but for the
Because
most
we're all
part,
so
they
arrogant.
might even do that, you know. Yeah, right. I mean, we moved to these watches for everybody. You can have my signs all you want because we're just
Right.
going to program it in.
It's
But,
different, right? Yeah, those days are kind of going away.
Yeah.
Yeah, the football clinic is a little bit different. There's just more. You know, it's a bigger squad. You know,
Yeah.
you have more coaches, more responsibilities. So, it's definitely you see bigger groups of like from let's say whatever Trimble for example, we might have 6 coaches there. Well, for the baseball clinic, I might have 3.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Or
so
one.
it's just
A lot of guys
sometimes,
or one.
yeah,
A lot of guys are 1.
Yeah.
I'm lucky enough, you know, I try to pay for our guys to go and try to raise some money for them to go in the hotel and just kind of bond and our guys really like it. If they can do it, I invite them all, including our junior high coaches if they can, just to talk ball. And if anything, it's a good weekend with the guys, and you get to
It is.
Absolutely.
That's one of the greatest benefits.
yeah,
of it.
you get to kind of bond together, talk ball, and just have a good time together. And try to if everybody, I tell everybody, I said at these clinics, I said you can't. We're a small school, and I think we're going to get into that. And I know
Yeah.
you talked about it, but these clinics, a lot of them, you can go listen to Ohio State and all these guys talk, which is great. But does that relate to a Division VII school in Southeast Ohio? Probably not. But if you can if everybody can take maybe 1 or 2 things that you're like, wow, I really like that, and you can apply that, or you can take it back and it benefits our kids and our school, then we've accomplished something there. So
That's a good word. That's a never-ending process, really. I think at all levels too, because there's so much information
so much.
that you can get
Yeah.
now. I think for parents and young players that are in any sport that are trying to get better, they can be drowned in
Yeah.
information and just not know.
Yeah.
And that is it right for me?
Right.
Some coaching, techniques, some strategies, some approaches isn't something that's going to fix everybody.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you have to have that discernment, I guess, in a word, to be able to know, what can I use?
Well, I mean, a lot of it just is the logistics of it itself. Like, yeah, it's one thing to be able to do a drill in the off season, and you're showing me on your video board behind you as you present, your nice turfed indoor facility.
Exactly.
And a whole line of kids doing that drill, and they're all wearing uniforms, things like, and I'm like, okay, how do we do that in the mud in 38 degrees, and or in a gym where we're having to schedule it around volleyball and basketball, three basketball teams and all this. It's just not the same. You're right. It's just not happening. Yeah.
I think we scrimmaged. You were our first scrimmage last year. We didn't get out on the field. The first time we were out on the field was when we scrimmaged you guys.
Yeah.
And we did not play well.
No.
And you could tell, I think even after he could tell that I was disappointed. Because I thought we did have a pretty good season. We won 19 games.
Yeah, you did.
We had a really good season.
And stronger as you went.
And we just got stronger and stronger.
Yes.
We hit our stride. And it was one of them years where I literally didn't find what our best lineup was until the middle to the second half of the season.
Time that we played.
Yeah, the second time we played, and we
Yeah.
beat you guys at our place.
That was our one league loss.
He's probably mad about it, but I was equally as happy about it because
You're welcome.
I respect
You're welcome
their
for
program.
that film I shared with you.
What's that?
That film
Well,
I shared with you.
It's funny.
Oh
that
yeah, that's what it was. Yeah,
Oh, I know that happens. See how it didn't even faze me?
he just assumes.
We didn't play you. We didn't play you
But I
until
remember
after you played.
Coach was afterwards. He goes, "You guys are going to be fine."
Well, yeah.
He goes, "You guys are going to be
a
fine."
couple of my guys were
because
up there
I was
watching you
frustrated.
guys.
Yeah.
I know you were frustrated. We
I
were
was
watching
frustrated.
it. Yeah, because we had just practiced that morning, and I said, "Hey, I'm going to go out and watch Trimble scrimmage," And then a couple guys came out. One of my assistant coaches was with me, and one of the guys, one of the players, is like, "They look rough," and I said, "Listen,
We did.
I said it's very likely. I said, they probably haven't been on their field yet. And
Zero.
I said,
We was not.
I said,
That was the first
and I
time we
said,
was
and
on
also, what Trimble is like. They are always like, you are always going to get the most out of those guys. Like there is a pride in and just fighting.
That's the type of
just
kids
fighting.
that we kind of have, and it's I coached football there for a long time. I played there.
It's your community.
Our kids are naturally tough.
Yeah.
They come from sometimes not, and I'll speak openly about this, and this is Southeast Ohio in general. A lot of times is maybe they don't have, maybe the best upbringing, or maybe they have, they've went through some stuff already at a young age that a lot of people maybe don't. They have to grow up quick. They're just tough kids at heart,
Yeah.
and so as a coach, you always got to coach your kids to like their strengths. Our kids are naturally like that, so we just really kind of, tap into that and try to. And our kids play gritty. They're always tough. Like if you look at our games a lot of times are always close games.
Yeah.
They're always tight games or a lot of low-scoring games, which we're kind of proud of. We don't typically hit the ball all over the ballpark and score 12, 14 runs in big games, but we do a good job of, they've really bought into what we want as coaches, and we allow them to play free, play hard, play aggressive, be tough, play loose, and I think that comes out in our teams. But that's just kind of their nature. That's just how our kids are. That's why we've had good football teams over the years. I think I've listened to a couple podcasts. You were talking about wrestlers. We've had pretty much I love my catcher to be a wrestler.
Yeah.
Because they are just tough kids back there. And but that's kind of how us as a whole, as a unit, that's kind of their mentality naturally.
For sure.
So
I think that's a good lead. I mean, we were going to talk about, or at least I'm planning on asking you, how do you build a culture? How do you build a competitive team when you're, in a small school setting? And that's a good word you just said there. You lean on their strengths.
yeah.
And then, you build around that. And I definitely 100% agree with what you said. You guys are a tough group. Everyone knows it too, in every sport.
Right.
Not just, basketball, it's been said that it's a tough group. Well, actually, Trimble came down and scrimmaged Megs during the summer there.
Okay.
And
This summer.
yeah, and you could just tell,
Right.
I think maybe a younger group with not a lot of basketball players.
Yeah. Right.
but
Right.
a tough group.
That's how Howie. Well, if you look at
yeah.
Howie Caldwell,
Yeah.
he came to Trimble, and he got them. I mean, they will grab you. They'll grab your jerseys. They'll hold you. They are going to play until the referees call it, a little strict. But he played to their strengths, and he did a really good job of that. Howie's a good coach. He's, and we've had like kind of a turnover in coaching staffs, and we got a good guy I think in there. It's going to be disciplined, and I never and not nothing else, but like when we got him off of Howie, that was an advantage I didn't really realize, because when our kids came in, they came in focused on the on what we had to do there. And
you're talking about when you got them off
when
the
I got them
baseball
off
season,
from baseball
straight
season,
from basketball,
straight from basketball. They were.
And they probably had the same thing coming from Phil.
From Phil, that's why
to basketball. Those kids are getting pretty focused coaching all the way through.
Absolutely. I mean, those are two Hall of Fame coaches. Phil's going to get inducted into the OHSA Football Hall of Fame. I can't wait to go
awesome.
to that. Yes, he's going to get inducted to that.
Good deal.
So I'm proud of him for that. But yeah, so I got Phil Ferris, Howie Caldwell, youngster me.
That's a good 2-3 behind you, Coach. Right?
Yeah.
Chaz Mohler.
Right. Yeah, I think I was on the bottom of that totem pole. But
so, are you coaching football right now?
no, I went out with Phil. Yeah.
Smart.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Are you coaching basketball?
Nope.
So you're
I'm
smart.
just baseball only now.
But there was a period of time where you coached all three sports.
Yeah, actually, baseball is the last sport that I actually coached at the varsity level. So right out of college, Kurt Moore is a good friend of mine. He asked me to come. So I couldn't have been 23 years old when I coached basketball for Kurt Moore. I actually did it after my senior year. So I did it for the 3 years after that. Helped him out. Kind of the first year was kind of like interning. I was there kind of when I could, back and forth from college. And then 2 years after that, and then Phil asked me to coach him. Rusty Richards, who's the head coach at Nelsonville now.
Yeah.
They kind of reached out to me, and I coached with them for a couple years. We went to the Final Four the 1 year.
Awesome.
So it was a great experience there. And then I kind of got out of it for a while. Worked on my professional career, started a family. Got married, all that fun stuff, and then I got asked to come back to coach baseball. So actually, I'm a baseball guy. It's funny enough, it was the last sport that I coached.
So were you coaching at Trimble football with Rusty and Phil in
Dennis
14 and 15?
Yep.
Yeah, because so they went to the Final Four
So actually,
the
Austin
same
Downs
years.
was-
So those were the years Athens was going
back and forth
as well, and
I went on there. So the year that we went to the state championship game, I
Yeah.
was not on the staff. That was 13.
That was before Burrow, yeah. Because all those years,
it was Austin Downs.
Well, Burrow was there, but it would have been like his Downs.
They
those
were
guys.
seniors,
yeah,
which is my assistant coach now.
Right.
So I
right.
coach them, and now we're great friends. And
But it was pretty funny. It was awesome to see two Athens County teams both going in two different divisions.
It was great.
And two very different ways of playing the game of football.
Oh, the most different.
I mean, Trimble did this, and Athens did nothing but this. So,
The great thing about that, and I wish if anybody at the OHSA is listening, which I'm sure they don't care what I say, but if they would go Friday, Saturday.
We've said a few things that they probably
Coach, we don't
by
want
now.
them to be listening.
We've been pretty open about our feelings toward the OHSA.
It's not great in a lot of instances, but you would play it would be whatever. Divisions 1, 3, and 5 would play on Friday night, and 2, 4, 6, and 7 would play on Saturday. So us in Athens was on every other night. So we'd go watch Athens on Friday night, and so the whole county, they're losing out on sales. You would think, because we got to just Athens on Friday, Trimble on Saturday. Athens this Friday, Trimble on Saturday, and then just
Nelsonville's always in it.
Nelsonville's always in there, and you could kind of go back and forth and watch.
Are you saying they're not doing that now?
No, it's all Friday nights. They went completely away from Saturday games. Maybe it's because of Ohio State, college football.
College football has dictated a lot of changes, I think, in the way that you pretty much have games on TV every night of the week now.
Because OHSA, but if you have a local school, you're going to go follow that high school football team. Unless but if Ohio State's playing Texas, you might miss out on some sales, but I think
Coach.
I have seen high school basketball programs adjust their time of
adjusting's different.
Their game time because of the Ohio State Michigan game.
I think that's a good culture question there, like a culture checker. You know, Eastern Eagle fans, Trimble Tomcat fans, Megs Marauder fans, answer this question right now.
Yeah,
Megs football, or
are you forcing people to say this is what I'm most loyal to?
I just want to know if Megs football, if Megs football's in the regional championship, are you going to go watch Ohio State, or you want to stay here and watch Ohio State, or are you going to go, or are you going to go watch Megs? That's what I want to know. Which one are you going to do?
Well, now they can live stream them too. You can buy tickets on your cable broadcast, and $10. You can.
That's
TV
true.
here, you can watch.
It's kind of copping them
or
out. Or
you could sit in the stands watching Megs in the regional championship, and
just
also
watch
the
My kids do that all the time. With the MLB app, they're always watching baseball no matter where we go.
Right.
But
I do too. My issue with the MLB app is because we pay the money for it to be able to see all the games,
which is a hoax. You
the
don't
two teams I want to see can't watch. They're always blacked out.
And
we pay $30 a month for this stupid app, and the MLB blacks out the Reds and the Guardians.
Why in the world? Because they don't sell out. That's why.
Is there a certain package you can pay that gets them every time?
No.
Because we have something
because you're in the viewing area.
I'm in the viewing area, and I can't unless they sell out.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you know what?
My dad's dad, my grandpa, we just unfortunately had to put him in like assistant living, so he's kind of but he wants to watch the Guardians. He wants two things: the Guardians and the Reds.
Yeah.
And somehow we got it. Now he's in Lancaster, so maybe that's. But he can get that. We had to buy some package where he can get those games.
Well, I bet what you did is my
aunt handled this. So
you rerouted because if you're in Pittsburgh's, because my parents were in Pittsburgh, like my parents could get the Reds, you can get the Reds.
I don't know if I can, but we get Cleveland
on cable.
Almost always we get Cleveland.
Yeah, my parents could get the Reds because their cable, they came from West Virginia. I think they were on a Charleston cable network or whatever.
Yeah.
And so that was their viewing area, and that pointed to Pittsburgh, and so they couldn't get Pittsburgh games were blacked out, which they were fine with because they didn't like Pittsburgh.
Tell you something to look into. It's really expensive. It's Fubo.
I have heard that nothing is blacked out on Fubo, right?
Well, I don't know that, but I think it's at a different look. So, like normally when the Guardians,
you determine,
when Cleveland's not on MLB app, they're on Fubo, but we only pay for Fubo during football season.
So you can get all the
because Browns games aren't on TV.
I don't get to watch as many games as I'd like to, but
Who's your NFL team?
Browns. I'm all Cleveland.
Oh, boy.
Everything.
Man,
Cleveland.
I tell you what,
That's it. Yeah. So
I like Chaz more than I ever have right now. I didn't know that.
So
I'm sorry, brother.
Hey,
I'm sorry.
It is hard. It is hard.
It's a hard
Make
life.
sure we
Well, listen, it's just as hard these days to be a Cowboys fan.
Get out of here. Get out of here with that.
Oh, jeez.
Cowboys fan. You had a dynasty. A dynasty.
That I can remember, but my 26-year-old son has never seen them win
Okay,
anything.
well, maybe I feel sorry for Brock.
At least you're relevant every year. We just
they
expect
say they're going to be relevant every year,
Well,
but then they never are. Yeah.
Well,
Well,
this is really going to get derailed if we don't.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
we
can
turn
start
it back
talking about
in.
who your starting quarterback's going to be.
Yeah. We'll reel it back in. Yeah. So
Well, here let's just jump right to the heart of the matter then.
Mm-hmm.
So, the last couple of weeks we've been talking about some of the unseen aspects of coaching that are difficult, that make coaching pretty challenging. You know, that just the general public doesn't usually see. I hesitate to say parents because we always feel like we're always harping on parents.
Right.
And honestly, we have great parents at Eastern. I mean,
most people do. For the most
yeah,
part, right?
yeah. Usually, when you talk about parents, you're really talking about one or two that have been under your skin or something. But for the most part, yeah. So it's just but people in general don't always see the extent of things that coaches go through, like. What, in your mind, are some of those, or in your experience, are some of those unseen aspects of coaching? You know, just kind of maybe make a part 3 from the last 2 weeks, like, you know, just give it another perspective of somebody else who's in our same shoes and even more.
I know one problem that he has that he probably doesn't get any credit for at all. And I know because I know how much time, well, I know you know too. I don't know how you deal with the field
That's
situation.
what I was just going to go with.
It's
So
nobody's
I've got
fault. A Village Park,
today I'll send you guys pictures.
Well, I was going to ask.
It's going to be underwater.
I'm surprised you got down here.
It'll
right?
look like Buckeye Lake. It might be deeper than Buckeye Lake in some areas. Buckeye Lake's not very deep in some, but in all seriousness, you can't see the rubber. I mean, it is up to our, and that's going to happen. It happened 3 times last year
during your season.
during the season. Yeah, so. You know, you would be surprised when it comes up fast and it kind of goes away quick. Now it does brush some of the dirt up. You gotta rake it back in. But as far as the unseen, and I'll go ahead and give my guy a shout out here, and you guys might know him, Marvin Shamhart. Was the whatever his title was. He ran Legion. It was the commissioner of Legion baseball in the state of Ohio.
He was the commissioner when I was.
Yeah, and he's still an assistant. But he is, served in the Vietnam War, is just a great guy, loves baseball. And when I took the job over, I asked him, I said, hey, he loves ball. And him and Steve used to help him out with Legion baseball a little bit.
Yeah.
And so he does, like, if it wasn't for him, our field wouldn't be, it'd be as bad as it gets, to be honest with you. But, you guys have played on the field. It looked pretty good last year, to be honest with you, all things considering. And we put a lot of time and effort into it. But Marvin puts his time, his own money, his time. He's over there. He cuts the grass for us. He drags the field. He's dumping, helping get new dirt brought in. He's helping, put a new home plate in when it needs it, because that home plate, actually, we have to do that. That's part of our stuff we have to do. It's actually the water come up and the plate is like spongy almost. So we have to replace that. So he's going to be doing that. I'll give him a quick shout out as far as like the unseen thing, working on the field. We don't have maintenance crew, but he does a lot of that. And so, big shout out to him. But just all the things that goes into your expectations going into it, scheduling practices, scheduling game. Like when I first took over as a head coach, that was the biggest thing. Even though I had a lot of years in all kinds of other sports, coaching varsity sports, you don't see what your head coach has to go through as far as, dealing with AD, dealing with your school, whether it be your school board, making sure everybody's certified. I actually, I have to go, my certification's run up. I got to go redo that actually.
I feel like something runs out every year.
It does. It's how long can I make this? 5 years? What's the maximum? 5 years? Let's do the 5 years. So I don't have to do it.
I think I have to, because I just finished
this is
my
my
fifth
renewal year, I think. Yep.
Yep.
So, just all those things as a head coach, the things that go on behind the scenes, making sure when you have practice that nobody else is in the gym. So you got to check the thing. And so there's so many things that goes into it behind the scenes. And then just like caring about your guys, making sure that you're putting them in the best situation to win. I say it all the time, like all the physical things that we're talking about, but like the amount of time that I am spent just thinking about my team.
Yes.
Is insane. Like like my wife all the time, like, Chaz,
are you here? Yeah.
You hear your zone. What are you thinking? You're thinking about baseball, aren't you? Because I will just, I'll just zone out, and I just start thinking like, okay, and next year, it's always next year, next this. What are we going to be like? Who are we going to put where? What's our expectations? And so just the amount of time that I think about my guys and the team and the program is like.
Well, there's something else that we didn't talk about the last couple of weeks is I don't know if you've done this or not, but and you almost don't want to admit it because people think you got to stay focused on today. Because I'll tell our players
that's
that
impossible.
The moment right now,
right.
I actually have a little notebook that says 2027 on it, and it was in my backpack, and I would make things that I knew we can't do this year. But next year, I was already making notes for 2027, thinking through, okay, here's what our leadership's going to look like. Here's what we got to do to make sure that, and we were not done with the season yet. And it's one of those things where you're like, you hesitate to mention that because you don't want to offend the people that we're focused on. Your seniors don't care about next year. No. But you as a coach, if you're concerned about the program and about having success for years consistently, you've got to think out. You've got to think about next year as well.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Programs, that's your job. You're the steward of the program. It's program team, right?
Yeah.
And then
it is.
And then player.
Yeah, we talked about that in our book that we do a team book every year, and some used to do one where we'd buy one and read it or whatever. But last couple of years, we made it ourselves. It was our own team book. It was like a playbook, and I basically talked about our team in three different ways. You've got the program, which is your everyone who's part of who we are. This is the past, present. Alumni, everybody, alumni. This is what this isn't just today. This is future as well. And you've got your team, which we define team as our varsity and JV together. That's our team. And then we had squads, our squad, varsity squad, JV squad. And we were fortunate enough last year to have two separate squads with a few overlap guys.
Right.
I think you incorporate your players into that. I think because it's the players program too.
Yeah.
So they're not only in the moment, but they are in the moment. They're where their feet are. But the way that they're playing, their effort, their focus they should be doing that in a way that's going to benefit the program next year and even years down the line. We talk about that a lot. Young kids, kids in our youth leagues and live in our area, come in and watch us play. What do we want them to see?
Yeah.
Be aware that you're a billboard. You're what makes baseball is to these kids that come and watch when they have an opportunity to watch. So the program's important. I think everybody should be concerned about that. Should be thinking about
100%.
that.
I think the one thing that we haven't. I think this year we'll have a JV team for the first time that I've been there, and something I've always wanted, but we've always kind of
good for you.
And so we're gonna have to maybe do a little bit of recruiting to make sure that JV team. So I'm not sure if we'll have a full JV team or we'll play on flex days, which is fine. Either way, we'll have enough, I think, to make it happen. But the one thing that we've been stuck at is kind of like that 15 guy mark. 15 to 16, and you've got, unfortunately, you got some guys that are younger that maybe, what's that?
You got good guys. To only have 15, it's like you have good guys.
Yeah. And so it's so it's always the one difference I always say with coaching baseball compared to basketball and football. And you were talking about like the program and thinking ahead. A lot of times I'm like, man, this kid, he's got potential. He's just not ready. So young,
right.
Or maybe I see something.
If you don't have a JV.
Yeah, if you don't have a JV, so I want to keep him around, but it's not fair to him. So those are the things that I stay up at night. But it's like I need to get him in the game. But the substitution rules in baseball, I say like literally people don't understand that if I put somebody in to run for my first baseman, in a big moment, he gets in scoring position, and then I have to put my guy back. Like that kid is done.
We talk about that all the time.
He's done, and so maybe that's something you bring up in a parent meeting, or But
I do.
Maybe
I use that very example wide open. I say, guys, you've seen football season, you've seen volleyball season, you've seen basketball season, and here's the biggest difference in these seasons is you're going to see substitutes running on and off the field constantly, on and off the court constantly. Baseball, softball, you can't do it. No. That's one of the biggest
football,
challenges.
You can run plays in with your receivers. Basketball, you can do a whole line change.
And kids have to get used to.
Stay fresh.
Yeah, and it's good. If I was a football coach, I'd pride myself in that too. Oh, we played 56 guys this year on a roster of 58.
Baseball,
whatever. But you got to get used to as a player. Today may not be your day in baseball. You might be a different role. That's not on the field,
and it is hard, but you want to keep, like I said, so in the back of your mind, looking forward, like I want to keep this kid. Where can I find? And that's pre-gaming. That's having a note and what you're planned on doing. Hey, if I get the opportunity here, I want to try to insert this kid here. And you kind of have a plan with that with your coaching staff. At least I do, going into games to try to keep And sometimes maybe you don't keep them happy all the time, but if you can, I always thought if you're up front, it's one thing I've learned over the couple of years that I've been coaching, is if you're up front and you're honest with your kids and say, this is kind of the role that I see you in, we're going to give you some opportunities here and there, make the most of it when you're in there, and we'll go from there. But as long as you're kind of up front and honest with them, obviously every kid wants to play every inning of every game.
Yeah.
And I love them for that.
Right.
But, baseball, that is the one thing that looking forward and trying to build a program at a small school, it's just, it's hard sometimes. And that's the thing that just, and they may do all the right things. That kid can do everything that you ask them to do. They're just maybe a little young, or maybe, we just have a really good junior, senior class that's experienced, and gives us the best chance to win. And, you got to try to find those ways to get those guys in there. And so those are the kind of things as a coach that kind of keeps me up at night. And how can I, make the most of this, keep them interested. I want them to come back out next year because they can help us down the road. But it's just a small school to where we only have 80 some boys in our school. Yeah. So, it's hard.
It's pretty much the exact same size. But we have more out of district. That's why we're.
That's because we
only have about 80 boys in school as well. We're really close to I know football's D7 this year. Right. We're waiting to hear what the baseball numbers are going to be. I think we're still going to be D6. We're only 7. We were 7 people, 7 units away from it last year. Like, what is it? You have to be under 100, I think.
I think
in order to be D7. I think we're still going to be D6. Yeah.
But football dropped.
So this year is just an open enrollment count year. It's not a total recount, or is this a total recount year?
It's total recount. The MIS.
Okay, it is.
Yes.
Okay, right.
Well, and we have.
I really don't look into.
We have a couple of guys that were considered 7s in the competitive balance number. I think that are no longer going to be on that count. So it just depends. I don't know.
It's hard to look into because you don't know where everybody else is seated.
Yeah,
but basketball this year was Division 5 for Megs. I think we bumped up to Division 4 this past season.
Okay.
I think we're going to go back to 5 this year, but I'm not for sure about that. So we're right on the line.
Cusp,
so it's like
so I would probably pay attention to it more if I was.
I don't know.
Well, and when it comes down to it, because you're thinking, man, if we were only this division or what?
But what are you going to do?
You're either going to compete against Berlin Highland in 6 or Newark Catholic in 7.
Honestly,
or Wheelersburg in 5 or Jackson in 4.
The Division 5 district bracket.
Oh,
It was murderer's row this year,
Yeah.
and it has been. So it's like, would I rather play D4, D5 this year? Doesn't
Flip a
matter.
coin.
But
Yeah.
one thing it does impact is knowing going in, it is not like you guys know. Because if I knew, I would probably lean on scheduling more of those.
Well, that's the difference.
Yeah.
Scheduling, yeah, because I do like to schedule teams in my division because then
That is true.
as long as we're voting, as long as coaches are still voting on the
I
seating.
think I was going to get in. I didn't know if we were going to get into that because I know it's been a topic the last couple of years, and I don't mind the coaches voting if you get the whole. If you have people doing it the correct way,
Yes.
but you're clearly
You're never
seeing
gonna have
some.
everybody doing
You're
it.
seeing a group of people
Yes.
that maybe they didn't have a good year or whatever it is. They just want the year over with, and they're just voting for their buddies or they're voting for their league, and you're not. You're not.
Yeah.
Having any accountability
Happen-
on that, then
it's
you
always
got to
happened.
scrap it. And it's like if not, if you got so many people that's, and now granted those votes get sometimes kicked out, but if there's, you're going to have 3, 4,
Well-
5 of them that's not.
As a coach, you
We're
could
the
have
only
done,
ones left
you,
that are not using.
right, Southeast District.
Yeah.
As a
The softball is.
as a coach, yeah, that's right.
Softball's using the max preps rank.
So you're for it. It sounds like.
I don't know. I like the coaching aspect of it. I really do, because you can, if you've seen teams and you say, man, that team's scheduled. I don't care how many games they won. They play a tough schedule. They
everyone
played a couple
And
teams
you,
really
but-
good.
but you do the research. Like you
Yeah,
like the,
right.
I like that. I enjoy that
I
too
enjoy it,
because I enjoy. I throughout the season I pay attention to who's playing who and how everybody's doing. So you got a pretty good idea. And I like as a coach this year, you could have gone into Max Preps and typed in Division 6 or Division 7 rankings. The RPI rankings, and get it for the whole state. So then you got to kind of filter through your district.
Mm-hmm.
And after I did my own seedings, I did that.
Yeah.
And I was like 2 off.
Somewhat,
I was
yeah.
really close.
Pretty close.
And I'm thinking, well, if it's going to be that accurate, let's just do it.
Yeah, I agree too.
I mean, accurate according to what I think it should be.
yeah. And but I mean, I use that. Are you a state poll? So I took over
I am
as a state
poll
poll
voter.
voter last
Yeah.
year.
Oh, good.
Yeah,
You're going to be a
Yeah, I was
good.
last year. I took
Good.
over like halfway
Oh,
through
yeah,
the year.
it's
They
a
asked me to
different
do it in Division 7.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so that I use that a lot because now that is hard.
It is hard.
I will say that is
especially
very
when you're
hard.
determining all state players now.
Right.
That is very, very difficult.
And so you do your. I mean, I took a long time to
Yeah.
really try to research some of these kids and what they did last year and what you did this year, and look at the strength of schedule and all those fun things. But like me and Coach McLeod, you guys played South Webster, I think, right? Have you?
Yep.
I don't know if you have not.
we talked
They
about
have
them
a great.
last,
Like that's one of
last
my
week.
good coaching friends that I've kind of linked up with since we're around the same age, and
Yeah, Ryan's a good one.
yeah, he's a great one. And so, but I always vote for them. Like you guys want to go play Wheelersburg and Valley and all
Yeah.
those guys every week, and they're Division 7, and even we did our all league voting, and I was
Right.
like, I know they have a lot of guys, but they're going to the Final Four in Division 7. I said that kid got second team. He shut out Wheelersburg.
Yeah.
Does anybody in here
Yeah.
have a pitcher that shut out Wheelersburg? I don't.
Yeah.
and
sometimes
so
a team sometimes you have a team where you deserve 3 or 4.
Yes, and maybe
first teamers.
some schools, you almost get, and that's the way you get into voting and all these other things. But you fight for your kids. But it goes back to strength of schedule, and I always, but you got to watch what you're doing because you know that some people are just gonna look at your record. So you want to
It
play
makes
good teams,
scheduling
but you also
challenging.
don't want to
Yeah.
get too carried away.
That's why if we did go to RPI and you take that human element out of it, then I wouldn't hesitate to skip. I shouldn't say that. I would try to balance it a little bit. But if you can get a few of those good wins,
Yeah,
you know that's
really
good.
counts.
And the losses aren't going to hit you as hard
I agree.
as they would from a human looking at your record.
I don't know. Do you like the
know-
RPI? You like the coaches?
Well, I'll say this: the argument that I have against RPI is you can't always put your best in baseball. You can't always put your best team on the field like you can in football and basketball and even softball. In softball, a pitcher
Well,
can
you're
pitch
right.
every game.
You're
You're right.
1,000% right.
So you don't always have your best team. I will say this:
a great point.
our district in D4 mimic the way that the voting turned out. Mimic the RPI.
It's been pretty close.
Yeah.
Ours is pretty close.
Yeah, it was pretty close.
It was
So
all
if that's the
pretty
case,
Then
you
why
know,
not?
it would take a lot to. I get sick over it. I undervoted Logan Elm this year.
Well, here's the thing, though.
I
Coach?
haven't reached out to the coach. I feel bad about it.
They
No, I agree. But you did the best you
seriously
can. I think-
underachieved last year, though. Seriously underachieved.
Yes.
I mean, like this year, they were who they should have been. I thought that, like the year before, they had two really, really solid pitchers 2 years ago.
But they play a really tough
And
schedule, right?
They do play a tough schedule.
Look at
yeah.
Amanda Clear Creek.
Yeah.
They beat us. We played really
I
good.
saw
It was
Logan Elm
1-0.
play Amanda,
Amanda
actually.
Clear Creek. We played them. I think it was
They had that
1-0
pitcher.
in like the 6th inning, and they busted it open late. Super cold. We couldn't hit. The kid mowed us down. He
Well,
no hit us. We got no hit.
that kid was throwing gas too.
Yeah.
At the same time, though, some teams that I played that I was able to see, like I see the kids, like Gallia,
Right.
they were tough.
Yeah, they played Fairfield Union really tough.
You know, they
And,
were tough.
Maybe
and I thought Waverly was really tough, and there are a couple teams that are escaping me. But it's just like I know, like another thing I think of is who's got that pitcher or two that
Yeah.
can really stifle anyone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's another. But it's just I went back. So I try. Research as much as I can,
Yeah.
and then after the results come back, I go back and look, and I want to know which of my votes were dropped and how close my votes were.
How many of your votes got dropped? That's what.
Well,
And I don't think
right.
I don't think my vote got dropped on Logan Elm.
Yeah. So somebody
But
else. Did you text Drew?
I didn't.
Coach McGlone?
No, I didn't.
Yeah.
You know why I didn't? Because I didn't really feel bad. You know why? I didn't feel bad about nothing that I voted.
I don't.
Because
I
we
don't
didn't
really go
we
back
didn't get
in.
much respect at old D4
My first
this year.
You didn't. You're close to dead last, weren't you?
I think-
you play a playing game.
No,
Well, there wasn't
we
a
ended
play.
up playing Gallia. I think
did a
Gallia was
sectional-
a 4 seeds. I think we were 11, and there was 13.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. It's
I kind of stopped going in and looking where people seeded me after the first couple of years.
I don't take
tell you
offense
what
to
happened
it
to me.
because
I
I know how I feel.
Yeah.
So I'm like,
Oh, yeah.
that's
I was
what they
like,
saw.
well,
That's
you-
what
but
they
Once
got.
they come out, I was like, okay. But the first couple of years, I was going through. I'm like, where'd everybody? And now I'm just like, the voting's out. You do the best you can, and whatever. I don't want to, I don't want to hold any grudges. People,
Right.
they don't see you, they don't know you.
So maybe I wonder if they, from an RPI perspective, if they, I know they could. It would just be more difficult if they could take in. They would know who your 1 is. They would know who your 2 is, know who your 3 is. And be able to incorporate that in the formula. But if not, to me, it probably like this year, it would have probably worked out okay.
yeah.
So I'm like, well, we might as well
Right.
go to it because that takes all the frustration and hard feelings and
Yeah.
things like that out of it. So
Unless
I'd be
it's
good
like
with
an obvious, like sometimes there's some
Well,
obvious things.
What it's going to take out of it is going to take out of it those teams who have 20-win seasons, and they end up with the RPI system being a 6 seed, a 5 seed.
Yeah, but here's
where
the
they
thing.
would have been in the coaches poll
1 or 2.
a 1 or 2 because they were. How do you vote them lower than
How
1?
many
They got
Green-
22
how many
wins.
games did Green
Well,
win?
yeah, but you played New Boston 3 times, and you played.
Yeah, right.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, there are teams that have a lot of wins every year because they're playing 3 teams twice.
Does that-
6 games?
And they know
that
they're
are
scheduling their.
wins.
If you're smart about it, you
So
can
not
schedule.
only are you're going to win that game, but you know that you can save this pitcher for the next game.
I'll be honest with you. I
You don't have to throw your aces every league game.
We got
have to
Waterford,
throw our
Trimble, and
guys
Southern
every
in the
game.
same week.
Don't even get me
Our
started.
opening week this year. Our opening week: Waterford, Trimble, Southern.
Yeah.
That's how we
That's
start.
your opening.
Yeah.
Wait,
Yeah.
you play 3?
I know.
You play 3?
We
do
are
have-
this
we
year.
do have- we-
We played 2
I don't know
last
why.
year.
Why is
and
that?
3 this year.
Why
Who
do they
knows?
do that?
But here's what I'd rather have. My son brought this as an
know why
AD.
that
Brought
is.
this to the ADs and
You have more
principals,
teams than we
and they
do,
keep voting this down. Would you like to play us twice?
Series.
In this? Yes. Every baseball coach wants to play a series. Why do they keep voting it down? I'll tell you why. Softball coaches, for some reason, don't want to do
Our
it.
softball coaches don't want it.
But I
He's
don't
probably
understand.
listening.
I don't understand why do
Yeah.
they care? You're going to throw the
You
same
play
girl
same
2
girl
days
every
in a row
time.
anyway.
It doesn't affect it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think we talked about this, and it's like, well, if you lose this game, then we're basically, if we lose the first 2 games of the year, then we're out of the league. It's like, well, don't lose the first 2 games of the year then.
And that's not necessarily
split
true.
with
Who
them.
cares?
Yeah.
Because
you have a better chance of not losing those first games.
I mean,
Here's the
baseball, it
thing.
really affects you. And especially if it's just randomized, if you get a down team, let's just say, not to call out any teams, but if you
Right.
get a tough
A team
team,
that's having a
and
down-
a team
yeah.
that's having a down year, what if I get the top 2 teams in the league and you get a down team and one of us? So
Yeah.
you're
Yeah.
guaranteed to throw your ace the one
Yeah.
game.
Let me say, like I'll use. We had no shot this year
Yeah.
with the way that it ended up. We were 5-7 in the league, so we had no shot.
Right.
But we played Athens and Wellston in the same week, twice, back to back. So,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Right.
Monday, Wednesday,
Two
something
teams
like
that were tied
They
for
were
first.
1 and 2,
Right.
right? And neither of those teams had to play 2 and 3 or 1 and 3
Right.
back to back in the same week.
Right.
And I think they did have to play Friday, Monday. But that's just an example. I'm not taking anything away from what they did. Like I said, we didn't have a shot, and I don't remember how it played out the last few years either. It didn't matter. But the Hawking was okay last year because you guys played 2 games a week.
Yeah. Now
And-
this year we have some 3 games a week.
We have some weeks where we play 3, some weeks where we play 2. It's like every other week. It's really weird. It's
Why
bizarre.
is that? Nothing's changed. no
Yeah.
teams.
I would have said if you move us to 2 games a week, that would make a little bit more sense. It would take longer for our league schedule to happen. But if we played 2 games a week, that would make it a little bit more legit. Because now it's just not, there's not, and this can happen to anybody. And I'm sure it
can be a
does
luck
year
of
to
the
year.
draw a lot of
Yeah,
times,
it's a
yeah.
luck of the draw.
It really
and
is.
it's not, it gives a
The
competitive
series
advantage.
makes it even. It's your
Yeah.
1 versus your 2. Now, granted,
Yeah.
whoever you want
When
to
you
throw
throw in
on
that
either
guy
game.
next.
Yes.
Yeah.
But then you got to worry about what's the rules on if somebody gets rained out. What if Monday gets rained
I think
out?
Brock told me about how he proposed that. He said
be the next
you have a
available
rain out
date.
date. Like if you play Eastern, let's say Trimble plays Eastern on Monday, and then we play again on Wednesday,
Mm-hmm.
then nobody schedules on Friday or something like that. Nobody's like
You gotta leave an
You try to
open
leave a
date.
day open.
You
and basically
would have to
say,
But you don't have to leave
If-
a game
if you-
open.
that
Our
way you're still
TVC
playing.
bylaws are you play
We
the
do have that
next
now.
available
Available
date that you're not playing a league game.
Did you have somebody say that?
When does that match up?
No, I'll say it right now. We don't do it. We don't abide
don't do
by
it.
it all the
No,
time.
we don't.
Some people do, some people don't, but
Right.
it doesn't. But what I'm saying is, you get it in before next Tuesday. I think Brock said his argument was don't play.
we had that last year.
Didn't we? Yeah. We'd already played at home. It was your home game. Rained in your place. Our place was still nice, but you don't want to lose your home game.
Right.
Actually,
And with us, we might not be.
yeah, because
Everybody knows our situation. We're in a money crisis, so we're just kind of. I don't know if we're going to
you
go
couldn't
that
just
way
get a
or
bus.
not, but
You
we'll just
couldn't
throw it
get a
in there.
bus. Yeah.
Who knows if we would have? I mean, paying for bus drivers and stuff. I mean, like I'm restricted on how far I can go travel to play teams.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean, this is
Yeah.
a secret. I'm not getting paid to coach next
Right.
year.
Yeah.
So basically, volunteering as a coach. I don't know how many other head coaches around
Right.
are not getting paid. You can do the research on that.
Yeah, I
hard
hope
to
that
find
changes for you guys.
Yeah.
after this year.
But I mean, it's it's no secret, and that's why I don't mind talking about it right
Sure.
here. So,
Yeah, it's public
out.
record. Yeah.
It's on. Everybody says it. So, but yeah, so it's that. I remember that right there, and it was trying to find like I remember even Brock was like, it's the
a
next
few weeks
available
later,
date.
or a couple weeks later.
It was a
wasn't
couple weeks later
Yeah.
that we ended up getting it in.
Yeah.
But that's how everybody does it.
Yeah.
We always push games at the end of the year.
Yeah.
We have
I always leave the end of my year because I never know when my sectional is going to be. It's like a week. It's like it could be the 20th or it could be the 27th.
It has changed too.
So you don't know. So
Keeps
like
getting pushed back.
I always
Yeah,
kind of leave the
bad.
back end of my schedule kind of flexible.
Yeah.
We're not. You know what?
'Cause you usually
you're gonna
know-
have to come back next week.
Yeah, because we haven't gotten any of the questions we actually want to ask.
No, well, go ahead and ask me. Yeah, he said we're out of time, probably.
Yeah. Everybody's like, "This is just it's a baseball podcast today, buddy." It's that's oh well. Well, what? So okay, we always talk about the challenges of small rural small schools. We know that the rural school that you coach at has extenuating challenges. Even.
Yes.
What about advantages? What are the advantages of coaching as like are there any advantages of coaching in a small rural?
say that-
We're always complaining about small schools.
I would say, yeah, they're definitely stacked against you. I'd say but if I had to pick like one thing that I would say would be a benefit would be, so like my wife runs our youth league. So we basically run our baseball program from T-ball she runs it through 6th grade, and then I kind of take it, and then we run
Very
it from
nice.
T-ball to seniors.
Yes.
So I have the ability, and I know every kid that's in our school district.
Great.
Whether they play sports, they don't play sports, we need them to play sports. We have a good grasp on our kids. And so I think you can have a bigger impact, and you're more involved, and you kind of you're more hands-on with that. So more than like a Lancaster or something. They have so many kids in there, It's just they're more focused on probably. And I'm sure they have camps and everything else, but we know their parents went here. A lot of times it's generational things.
Yeah.
So you can relate to the kids, you can relate to the families, and I think that kind of gives you an advantage on, if you want to build a program and you can start building that excitement. And I think that's the biggest thing at the youth level. When we talk all the time, you want to compete, you want to win, but at the end of the day, we want them to enjoy the game.
Yes.
And you want them to have fun, and you want them to play again the following year. That's it. And we talk about I haven't had a JV team. Now these are the kids. I coach these kids, and I used to. My son's going to be in 7th grade this year.
Oh, cool.
And my youngest son's in 5th grade.
You're going to find a whole new set of challenges as he works his way.
I'm worried about coaching my own. Sometimes I'm like, I got to step away. I've coached him, but
it's a blessing more than a challenge. But
right.
there is.
I'm a little like. Sometimes I'm like, I need somebody. We just Dad don't know. What's Dad know?
Yep.
Type of thing.
Yep.
It's like let somebody else coach him. But if you ask what would be the advantages, I think that's probably the one that I would say is an advantage. I think we're always at a disadvantage more than anything, but that's
Let me ask
what
you
you
this.
guys think.
We're kind of in the same boat. Coach Stewart, not as much, but kind of. I mean, do you think it's an advantage or disadvantage to coach where you're at your alma mater?
Did you graduate from Trimble?
I did graduate from Trimble, yep. I went to Trimble, so I moved from Pickerington, me and my dad did, when I was in 4th grade. So I went to Trimble from 4th grade up through junior high. Oh. And then I went to Fairfield Union, and I love, just for the record, I love Fairfield Union. That's where my dad went. My whole family is from there.
Was my brother helping coach there when you?
He was not, no, because we talked about that because I worked at camp.
Yeah.
I must have just missed him.
Yeah.
But it was just the travel.
He did a
back and
circuit
forth
in
from
that
there
Lancaster area.
Yeah, he's
several schools Amanda, Liberty Union, Fairfield Union, Lancaster, Fisher. I mean, 5 or 6 schools, I think.
Right, and but yeah, it was just the travel time was kind of too much. But so I came back my sophomore through senior year. Cool. But as far as the advantage, I think the advantages again. You're from there. People know, I have a good baseball background. And but I'll tell you the one thing that does get difficult is when you get, after the game, and everybody wants to be buddy. It's like separating the friendships and it's not.
It's like a paradox. The advantage is everyone knows you.
Right.
And the disadvantage is
everybody knows
the same. Yeah, the same thing. Yeah. It's a paradox.
And especially because now I'm getting to the age where I have friends and stuff that I graduated with, and they have kids, and you got to separate the. You got to coach every kid the same. I can't look at you as anything different than that.
And by the way, that doesn't come naturally.
No, it's hard.
That's something you have to put effort, mental effort into.
It's very hard. Yes, absolutely. That's a great question, actually, because I've actually struggled with that. And it's like I mean, it's a good question. Yeah, because I'm getting to that point where I have a lot of my kids are friends of mine's kids and people I've known and respect, and again, you got to make a hard decision as a coach a lot of times, and you got to do what's best for your team and.
And sometimes that decision will push strain on that relationship.
It pushes away, and I've lost friends over this.
Yeah. You asked me that question last week,
and I've lost friendships over it, and it's nothing personal. It's nothing ever. You love the kids. Yeah, I wish I could play every kid, and that's it. But again, it goes back to I think about the kids all the time. I think about you guys all the time. I tell them that I was like, I think about you guys all the time. Yeah, and what we can do better, but you don't get into coaching if you don't. At least I wouldn't, unless you really loved it.
I don't think you survive if you don't.
Oh, no way. No, it's so hard and it's stressful, but you get the good times in there and it keeps you. It's definitely worth it.
That's actually a really great question. Is why did you get into what's your why?
Yeah, my why. It's a teaching thing. But my why, and I just introduced one of my good friends, Matt Chrisman, into our Athletic Hall of Fame last year. And at the end of it, I told him, I said, I'm into coaching now. And one of the biggest reasons, when you're an athlete your whole life, and I grew up around it, I was obsessed with sports from the time I was this big. My dad played at Ohio State. Was a 4-year letterman at Ohio State, was Mr. Baseball in the state of Ohio. So I come from a big baseball sports family. And so it's been my whole life. And I was blessed to be able to play 4 years in college. And then when you get out and you go into the work and you do everything, you miss that camaraderie. And that's what I told, and Matt's in my speech when I was introducing him, I said, the one thing I miss is the guys. I miss being in the huddle. I miss being in the huddle with my guys on a 4th and 1 play to beat Nelsonville York to win the game. Like, I can remember it like it's yesterday. I get goosebumps even thinking about it. Like, we're wrapped in it. It's all together. Here we are. This is what we've been working hard for all year. And we were kids hitting baseballs, and our dads are crushing the ball at us and calling us every name in the book when we missed it. Like, I can remember it. Like, it's all come down to this.
Back when you could do that.
And then it's just gone overnight. Right. And so you don't have that. And so now as a coach, you get to be with the guys a lot, and you're part of a team. And as far as like coaching, like when I was out of it there for a little while, like that's at the end of the day, I love it for one. I love to compete. I love to challenge myself, and I love the kids. I love being, seeing them succeed is probably better than if you had to ask me like them winning a big game versus me winning. Like, I would take that all day long. That feeling of seeing my kids succeed.
It's more fulfilling.
It's way better.
Yeah,
it's way better.
It really is. Well, because you appreciate the total package more than you did as a player.
Right.
You appreciate what brought you to this. And
100%.
Yeah, I tell them that all the time, that you guys you're gonna always wish you could play. Like, somebody asked me, you wish you could if you could play one more season, but you had to give up coaching the rest of your life, what would you do? It'd be really tempting, because I'd love to go back and play again. Yeah. But I appreciate this game so much more. And I love the game so much more as a coach that
it's a lot longer life to it if you can have the ability to do it.
You could stay in it the rest of your life.
You can stay in it for a long time. Yeah. But yeah, that's
good stuff.
Yeah. But yeah, so as far as the guys and being a part of the team and trying to build the culture, and it's always a work in progress too. That's the one thing that me and my assistant coaches talk about all the time is like, how can we be better? How can we change this? And that's the other thing. Like, the assistant coach challenges of a small school, like I know we kind of talked about that, is finding people you can trust and people that can be there. I've been blessed with 2 or 3 guys that have been there with me since I took over, and they're awesome.
That is a blessing.
I could not do it without. I have to resign. I have to resign. If you guys leave, I can't do it.
No pressure, fellas.
Yeah, no pressure. But yeah, so
no pressure, volunteers. Right? Yeah, exactly.
If they're mad at me one day, they might just resign. So.
It is hard. It's difficult to find guys that are
and just
able to.
Yes.
Not that they want to. Their jobs or whatever it is.
It just doesn't align with business hours.
Well, and there's 3 coaches in here that don't teach in high school.
Right.
We have different jobs as well. All of my assistants are that way. Well, Brock's assistant, he's in the high school.
More pop. I mean, it used to not be that way. All your coaches were within the school district, and
there's probably a reason for that. We won't harp on it, but
right.
How much time do we have? How long are we going?
Do we have a time limit?
I don't know.
You're running the show.
That's
here.
right. No,
Not us. I got all day.
Kinds of production in front of us here today. So
it took you 8 hours.
Hopefully this thing's working today.
It took you 8 hours to set this up.
We should have actually put an apology at the beginning of this week's episode for how poor the last 2 have been. Technically,
it's probably not as bad as he's making it out to be.
The audio and the video has been absolutely.
You'll have to go back.
Pat, did you listen to it? Did you listen to?
I listened to one.
How many times? In the audio?
Yeah, okay. I did that a couple times. But if you hit fast forward, you just skip 15 seconds, you're good.
There were like right at the very beginning.
So did it hold us?
You're like, we're in the new, like you're getting ready to say newly rearranged studio. And when you started to say the word new, it just went I mean, for 10 seconds.
You did that.
But it did that 15 times throughout. And then there were periods where there was no audio at all. And listen, I tell you, it was a Riverside thing. That's the app that we use to upload our, I don't care to say this, and I hope they watch it. It's not going to be them anyway. It's going to be the AI bot that I argued with for an hour on the phone or on the internet that night, and they just kept telling me, "Oh, you got to go through these checks. It's on your end." I'm like, it's not on my end. I promise you, it's not on my end. Yeah. I'm doing the same exact thing I've done for 3 years with using your app. It's on your end. So.
You've made me repeat myself on purpose before, though.
Right. I love Baker Mayfield.
I love Baker Mayfield. I love Baker Mayfield.
I edited an episode that we did with a guy who was a huge Bengals fan.
Oh yeah,
and they were just patting. Lucas were just arguing the whole time about everything. It was also when they had just drafted Joe,
right?
And so, yeah. So and Pat, Cleveland had Baker, and we were always kind of giving Baker a hard time. And you made a comment like, "Well, listen, I love Baker Mayfield, but." So there was a but, right, coming after that. So I took the I love Baker Mayfield and just made that.
We would do an even swap with
an outtake. So
yeah, I do.
We would take
all.
right
you give all your quarterbacks, all 17 quarterbacks that you have on your roster. For
what would
Joe.
that go for? That's a good poll question. How many draft picks would that be worth?
That wouldn't be.
Well, you would just
Joe.
draft another quarterback.
Yeah, we'd get 17 and still draft one in the first round.
Right. So. No, we probably should wrap it up. I mean, we've been going for an hour.
All right. Good call. Well, we always, Coach, we always ask this question to all of our guests. And hopefully you can come on some other time.
Yeah, if you guys,
fun.
I'm around all the time. So if you guys want to come on, do another podcast, you got a bunch of questions, I'm sure we can sit here and talk ball all day.
Or you just come in, you can join us and talk.
This was a catching. We caught up with you a lot on things, but we could pick a topic and get right at it.
Yeah, that'd be great. But we always ask to share a story of your favorite memory playing sport, whether it be youth, high school, college, whatever it is. Just we know it's kind of unfair.
Yeah, that's a tough question.
Give us one.
Yeah.
Favorite sports.
You kind of gave one there a minute ago. But
I would say it's definitely going to go. And I say this all the time. And I love baseball. I think it's the greatest game ever created. But there is nothing like coming out on a big game on a Friday night against your rival. My senior year, we had probably my favorite game that I ever played in my senior year. So Trimble and Nelsonville's played in I don't know how many games in that history of that rivalry. My senior year, we went into overtime. We beat them in overtime. It's the only overtime game ever in the history of that rivalry.
Oh, nice.
So I can remember just in that, like I said, that when I was talking about being in there with in the huddle, they had a 4th and goal. So they had the ball first, and I had the opportunity to go for it and go for the touchdown or kick the field goal.
Yeah.
And so they went for it, and they bootlegged out. And it's funny because they bootlegged. Matt Chrisman was our defensive end. I was the corner. And Jay Edwards, they booted over there, and we kind of pinched him and tackled him on the one. And,
you did?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah, me and Matt. Yeah, me and Matt. Matt kind of strung him out, and we tackled him.
The guy stopped them. They didn't score.
They didn't score. We got the ball and scored. Scored, I think, on our second play. Won the game. People jumping over the fence. I mean, it was crazy. So as far as that was great. I mean, that was amazing. So, and like I said, that's the only overtime game ever in the history of the school.
Oh, wow.
Wow. If you had to guess, in
even
that moment, but I can still remember being in that huddle on that 4th and 1. This is it right here.
Yeah.
They need a yard, and we need to stop them from getting a yard. And we're looking at each other and this is 2-a-days, all the work, who's got it, who's going to win this. And I can remember the look in my teammates' eye. I can still to this day remember that. And all my buddies, we were senior loaded, so we grew up, together, and just to have that moment together was just that's what you play sports for.
Absolutely.
We were lucky enough to have great teams. Like I said, at Fairfield Union, I was 9-1 in football. I was 9-1 all 4 years. Couldn't get a perfect season. Should have. We just
tell me about it.
But so if you had to pick one moment, that was probably it.
Awesome.
So
that's cool. I can't believe that Trimble has never had an overtime game in football since then.
Nelsonville.
Oh, Nelsonville.
Just the Trimble Nelsonville game.
In that
rivalry game.
Gotcha.
Yeah, there's never. There's only been one overtime game ever.
I believe Nelsonville York beat Waterford last year in overtime.
Close, yeah.
On that with that same type of a decision.
Was it? Yeah. Rusty was on my.
Kicked an extra point.
He coached for us then.
Right. That's exactly right. Yeah, they could have kicked the extra point to tie it, but they went for 2 to win it, and they got it. And then Waterford actually still had a little bit of time left to get the ball to. Was it?
I
It
can't remember
wouldn't
if
have
they
been
went to
overtime because
overtime or
overtime
not.
rules are different.
Yeah.
It would have been
Each team
regulation.
gets
It was regulation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think. Oh,
I remember that game. Obviously, I was coaching football last year. So.
Oh, and it was a long one.
Yes.
Yeah, because it was regulation because
and it was close.
It was very good. That kid can kick the ball. That left. Both you guys have
my
left-footed
goodness.
kickers.
Yeah.
Both green teams have left-footed kickers,
and
they both could kick it.
and they
Who's
they
your
really
kicker?
can.
Don't
Braden
ask us, we
Wilcoxon.
don't have one.
Yeah, and you see him in warm-ups. He's easily tapping in 35, 40 yarders in warm-ups, and so it's becoming more. Coach Jackson's gotten more involved. Him more involved in the game here in the last couple of years, where he realizes
it's important.
We have a good weapon here.
Weapon.
Yeah, for sure. Good stuff, man.
Yeah, thanks for joining us.
Bring me back anytime.
We
I'd
will.
love to come and chat.
Absolutely.
We'll do it. See y'all
next week.
Next week.